All right, here I am. I'm trying to try out my green screen here. I don't have a way to see myself because when I use the selfie camera on the screen side of the phone, it was zoomed out too much. So now I have it where the three cameras are at, I guess the main cameras. And I got it just right, but I don't know if I'm in it or whatever. I guess I'll find out later. Anyway, I wanted to do one, test this out, and two, I wanted to show my brother Strat and talk about, gear wise, what I've been up to. Last week I did like a little clip of the gig we did, and I just did a little voiceover. I didn't like how that came out. I was just like, let me try do a voiceover. I should have done it different, but you live, you learn. I'm just doing, this for fun, trying out new things. And so right now, let me grab my brother's guitar. I'll be right back. All right. Oops. All right, here it is. I got the neck pickup in and sent it back to Fender. I have it plugged in. Let's see if we can hear. Here's the bridge. These are the 5762 pickups. Here's the bridge middle. Middle pickup. By the way, I'm trying out these. I bought them a long time ago and I stopped using them. I can't remember why, but I got these Prodigy picks by Ernie Ball. The green Jazz 3 copy that I got from, I think it was Diodario. They wore, like, they had fiberglass in it to keep it, strong and I guess wear resistant, but it wore really quick. It like wore quicker than a normal Jazz 3. These things, I don't know, like this is just nylon. So I'm trying these out. I'm really digging them. I stopped using them for some reason and now I'm back. So, all right, so middle neck. And then finally neck. And this is what happens when you improvise. But yeah, it sounds really good. I think I'm fine with the neck right now. It's a little, rough, but I've been playing my telly a lot lately, and the reason why is after getting these single coils in the Strat, and I'm like, am I a Strat guy now? I decided I had Texas Specials in my closet, stuck them into my Telecaster, and I was just like, damn, this is what I've been missing. So I've been playing that telly so much. Like, here, let me grab it. Okay, here it is. I put the Callahan bridge back on. I thought it was microphonic or something because it doesn't have the screws here. And I think it was just my little 59 was microphonic because I'm not getting any squeals anymore. And I checked this. I thought it was not flat. And I put it up against a glass table and it was perfectly flat. So I was like going, I wonder what made me think that it, I don't know, but so here's got the Texas Specials in there, the Callahan Bridge, and it just sounds. Sounds great. Middle. And finally, neck. And it just sounds amazing. I know a lot of people put a 4-way switch with the Texas Specials, but I think the 4-way switch, it's like people go, oh, it's kind of like a humbucker. And it is kind of like a humbucker, it's just a bit fatter. The problem is I feel that's like a gateway to, I start playing that and I go, oh man, if only I had. And this happened to me because I did have Texas Specials. These are the Texas Specials that you were in here. And I said, oh man, if only like I could get it to be more like a humbucker. And then I put a little 59 in the bridge, and then I go, oh, I wish I had more of a single coil sound. And I splitting it every time I try to split it doesn't sound good. Then I put a single coil in the middle. Then I go, oh, I wish I could do both. And then the last gig at the Whiskey, if you could see, I had a single coil on the bridge going series into the middle, and that was almost there. Like most of the for the gig you couldn't hear it, but when I got it home, yeah, I basically installed it like that right before the gig because I was like, I had something in my head. I'm like, oh, I gotta do something, you know, like, and you know, sometimes you just gotta be irresponsible. But it sounded all fine except the A string, and I don't know if it's because the bridge was at a slant and then the middle one was straight, but the A string sounded like out of phase. And so I just said, okay, I can't live with that. And that's when I was thinking, okay, maybe I'll put a little 59 back in the bridge and keep the 1/4 pounder in the neck. And then I just, after I got the single coils in my brother's Strat, I'm like, you know, maybe I should get some like vintage single coils. And then I played my green guitar that had the Texas Specials as well, and I said, you know, they sound fine enough. So I'm only doing a 3-way switch so I don't start playing, because basically all I would play in when I used to have this with a 4-way switch was in the series mode with both pickups. I never moved the switch. And this way I kind of have to, like, you know, I have to move around because it's like there's one song I play with Halcyon called Bliss, and I use the neck pickup. And there's I don't have a song yet that I really use the middle pickup. I'm gonna have to change that. And the bridge pickup, depending on what we're playing on, there's one called Peachy, where it's just like, it's kind of got more grungy feel. I keep the tone knob all the way up, but when I'm using gain, there's a trick I learned from a Philip McKnight video where if you turn your tone knob, I got the orange cap, he said it's a certain orange cap value, and you turn your volume down like, just like you know, whatever it is, a fifth of a turn or whatever, it feels like it's adding bass to it. Like instead of just taking away treble, it's like, and you do that and it's like, especially when there's gain on it, and I don't know what it is, but it sounds more like a humbucker. And so on Friday at practice, that's what I was doing. I was basically on the more heavier songs, I'd roll my tone pot down a little bit, and it worked. And there's a little bit of 60 cycle hum, and you can hear it mostly before practice. And it was weird because if I turned away, like it got totally quiet, but it sounded like it was coming out of the PA, not my amp. So I don't know what that's all about, but it was pretty damn quiet for a single coil with, tube screamer boosting a Rat, doing that. And then, like I said, for more grungy or whatever songs, I put the tone control all the way up. And then, in the neck pickup. And, I want to be able to use my guitar fully. So I want to be able to roll down the tone on the neck and do maybe something a little more. And, because it's like when you have like a humbucker, or when I have a humbucker, it ends up just being humbucker bridge, volume all the way up, tone all the way up. Also, I had a Earthquaker Devices Plumes. I think it's the Plumes. It's the Tube Screamer copy, and I was using that to boost. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to use my Tube Screamer to boost and knock off one pedal. I put a fuzz in its place, and that way it's just the pure Trinity Tube Screamer, Rat, Big Muff. And that's what I'm using mostly. But then that eliminated the extra Tube Screamer, which I had set for overdrive. So on that song, there's a song where I used it. There's actually two songs. Next time I play those songs, I'm going to have to like try out with my volume knob and see if I can, whether by turning the Tube Screamer off on the Rat and turning the volume down, getting the overdrive I'm missing. I want to fully use my guitar, and I want to, use the tone and volume knob. And there's so many sounds in, a guitar just by, moving the pickup switch, the tone, the volume, that a lot of times you just kind of put your switch on the bridge, volume, tone full up, and go at it. And it's just kind of like you're wasting all this potential, and especially when you're using pedals to get more sounds. And I think I want to force myself to use this guitar to its fullest. So I'm basically going to be playing this a lot more. I want to master all its sounds. I mean, it was my main guitar at Halcyon's band practice, but here I want to play it a lot more. I usually would just leave it in the case till it was time to go to practice. And I still have it. I have a little Yamaha mini acoustic that I would practice on. And I want to practice more on this. I want to master this guitar. I want to be able to, do everything on this. And I think there's that old saying, beware the man with one gun, because he knows how to use it. I want to be like the beware the man with one guitar, because he knows how to use it. So the next thing I'm going to be working on is basically my brother's acoustic. So here's my brother's acoustic, and it's a Yamaha F210, and it's been beaten, and there's a little dent in the wood up here. And the problem is I don't know if you can see it, but there are like dents in the frets at the low frets. I think because it basically was, laid on its face and left for however long. He never played it, but It doesn't fret out or anything, but it's also got really high action right now. So I might basically just on the low string, so I might just cut the nut and see how that goes. Also, the truss rod is stuck, and it could be a little more straight, the neck, but I don't know if I want to risk it. I'm going to take off all the strings, and I'm going to clean the fretboard, and I'm going to put some linseed oil on it, and then I'll put some new strings. I got Ernie Ball Earthwoods. I really like these strings, and I think before I had the phosphorus bronze ones, but I was listening on YouTube, and the 80/20 sounded better, and I like the packaging color better. I'm a man who loves aesthetics, so I'm gonna try these out, and if they're good, I'll keep using them. And then I'm hoping, because I think I read that 80/20 has less string tension than phosphorus bronze, so I'm hoping maybe that'll straighten up the neck a little bit. If not, I'm gonna have to go to a lighter string gauge. But yeah, I'm gonna probably do that next, and then someday I might have to address those dents in the fret. But for now, sounds good. So, it's nice. I like it. It's nice. It's all beat up, and it sounds good to me. And hopefully, I can get this thing working better. And then eventually, I might have to take it to a luthier to work on the frets. And I know this is a cheap guitar, but it was my brother's, and I don't want to get rid of it. I also got this little. It's a pin puller for pulling the pins out of the bridge. So I can't wait to use it, because I would use on my older acoustics I didn't give really a damn about. I just use a pair of pliers, and I'd always mar up the little plastic pin. So I'm like, I should probably get the right tool now that I have an acoustic that I should be taking care of. So, but that's all for now. It's Thanksgiving's coming up this week. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. I have kind of the last couple weeks, because partly the gig and other things, I haven't been really working on my music like I should have been. So I think this week I'm going to try to hyper focus and work on November song, and I got to try to get that EP done. I might try to do vocals at my band's rehearsal space, because I was over there and we were listening to the tracks. I was showing them the tracks, and they're like, yeah, it sounds like you were like, holding back. You weren't singing full. And I'm like, well, yeah, because if I make too much noise, the neighbor's dog next door just starts going off. Like if I play guitar or try to sing my vocals too loud, all of a sudden I have someone singing harmony over there, and I don't know if that's gonna leak or not. So I might just do it over there where it's a little more, I can belt it out a little bit better. And the problem being is, if I do get it out by the 2nd, it's too late to do it on like Spotify and all that. So I might just do it on SoundCloud and YouTube. So we'll see how that goes, if I can get it done, because I basically I have to work on the vocals, and then well, there's another thing I might touch on next time about, I feel that maybe I strayed a little too far from like I had a credo when I left. I was in a band starting up with a few friends, and I was like, man, like, so this doesn't repeat itself. Let's just say that. I'm like, I want to keep things simple, and I want to keep, I want to be basically, if you can't play the song with just an acoustic, it's too dang complicated. And I feel, listening back when I was showing uh, Nando and Scott the songs, I was like, I kind of was like going, man, like this part kind of feels like it drags on a little bit. This feels like, and I felt like I was writing, like I had the basic song, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, let's add a trumpet part. Oh, let's add this. And then I was writing parts. And then after it got put together, it was just kind of like, ooh, this doesn't flow. So I don't know. I might be redoing the songs. I don't know. So anyway, that's all for now. Have a happy Thanksgiving and have a good week.